Hello and welcome to Cricket News Live. My name is Rahul Pandey and I'm joined right now by Cricket News' principal correspondent Sandipan Banerjee from the warmth of Antigua, right now present at the Coolidge Cricket Ground. Hello, sir. You're looking quite set for the occasion that waits for us Saturday.
Yes. This is a beautiful looking Coleridge cricket ground here in Antigua, situated right next to the airport. So during the live, you will probably hear the sounds of aircraft, taking off and landing. And one of those aircrafts will actually bring some good news for India, because the players who were tested positive in Trinidad, now they are expected to reach Antigua in next, I think, in 1.5 hours.
There you go. Our principal correspondent bringing you the best news possible as far as Indian fans are concerned ahead of this Super League quarterfinal that is scheduled to take place on Saturday. That is tomorrow. Of course, the third quarterfinal between Pakistan and Australia taking place right now as we speak. But let's talk about this India fixture. I don't believe under 19 or cricket enthusiasts in general would have forgotten the fixture that took place in Potchefstroom just a couple of years ago. That was, of course, the final of the last edition of the under 19 World Cup final. Of course, the game was pretty close. Bangladesh snatched the victory by 3 wicket margin in that particular final, going on to win their maiden under 19 World Cup title. But the post scenes of the finale were marred by some sort of close, intriguing words that were exchanged between the two teams. How do you see this one going around? How have the two teams been? Because you've been following the game from up close. You've been following the two teams from up close in the Caribbean this time around. How do you see these two teams going into this particular fixture?
Well, yes, of course. India Bangladesh at any level is kind of a rivalry these days. We have seen at the senior level as well, especially from the Bangladesh side. I think yes. I think this time India is looking, much more stronger than the previous under 19 squad. I think you have seen their progress despite their, best batsmen, despite being depleted in the last two games. They have done quite well. Thankfully, all their first choice bowlers are available, and bowling has been a big strength of this Indian team. And someone like VVS Lakshman, who is the current director of the NCA, is also traveling with the Indian under 19 side, and we have seen a lot of one interactions of Lakshman with the players. Yes, I have seen him giving pep talks during when India was practicing on the other day at this particular venue. So I think India will be looking much more positive, much more. I think they are looking a bit geared up for this contest. But yes, this is going to be a big contest over here. I mean, India, Bangladesh, yeah. I mean, Bangladesh actually, this particular Bangladesh team, is yet to pick up in this competition. I think they lost horribly against England in their league game. Then they qualified after winning their next two, so qualified for the quarterfinals. So it is expected to be a good game, and especially considering the pitch. On this particular pitch, I think Afghanistan defended 134 yesterday. So this pitch is not exactly an easy place to bat on.
You were, of course, bringing in all the fantastic details from that fixture and some of the visuals after the game as well. Mahela Javardhane interacting with the victorious team after the match. And yes, for those of the Indian fans who've just joined us, Mr. Sandipan Banerjee has brought the good news that there will be, of course, the contingent of Indian players who had contracted COVID-19 before the second fixture of India in the group stage of this under 19 World Cup will be returning back for the quarterfinal against Bangladesh. Now, let's talk about the players who have shined for India so far in the tournament. There have been some really good performances from the bat as well. We talk about the opener, Angrish Raghuvanshi, who has scored 228 runs in 3 games, scored a century in the last one. So did Raj Baba, who's been India's all-rounder. In 3 fixtures, both of them scoring 200 plus runs, will be the batting strength for Indian team. But also apart from them, the captain coming in back into the side will also bolster that batting lineup, won't he?
Yes. Before that, I would like to talk about the players who will be joining in. So, of course, after this break, they will be a bit rusty, because they haven't featured in the
Yeah,
last two games. And someone like Yasdul, Sheikh Rashid, they are the mainstay of this Indian batting lineup.
yeah,
So I think that is the reason probably why India chose to practice in the second half of the day, so that those players can have some hit in the nets before heading into the important game, and India will be needing their best batters on this pitch.
yeah,
So I personally I believe, even if they are not 100% match fit, they should definitely get into the playing 11, considering the occasion, the big game, and that
yeah,
pitch. And
yeah,
yes, players to look out for, if you ask me. I mean, there have been India's patient have been quite well, bowled quite well. I think Harnoor is actually, who was the player of the tournament in the Asia Cup. He's yet to come into his own group. So I'm expecting him to do well. He has spent a lot of time at the nets on the other day. He was trying to focus, trying to buckle up his game, brush up his game. So I'm expecting big things from him also. The Indian spinners have bowled well on these conditions, because if you can remember the South Africa game, South African batters actually
yeah,
were South Africa were in a good position, and when the pacers were bowling, but it was the spinners who turned things around for India.
yeah.
So I think overall, and this wicket is going to, ball is going to stick on this pitch, So our spinners will have a role to play.
Yeah, you talked about Asia Cup, and just go back into the bit
I
of
have to be very
history between
careful. These
these two.
guys are hitting some big sixes behind me. So yeah.
Please be careful and duck when possible, when you have to, because that's foremost important. But you did mention Asia Cup, and we talk about head to heads a lot in the game, even in a World Cup such as the Under 19 World Cup. We can talk about head to heads. These two recently featured in the Under 19 Asia Cup semi final. India, of course, the eventual winners, beating Bangladesh in that fixture. But we talk about these knockout matches. There is no script. There is no sort of post performance that you can look up to for a team to do well in that particular fixture. It's all decided on that particular day. And you've been to previous tournaments where you have seen that happen.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there is no set pattern you can follow, unlike the senior games where you can follow a set pattern, or sometimes opponent, there are enough visual of the opponents available, through which you can analyze, pre-plan your game. But here, the surprise factor is much more higher. That's why you will see a lot of and lower ranked teams actually sometimes upsetting the bigger sides in the competition.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
remember, Afghanistan, I think they beat Sri Lanka and reached the semi-final. And this in the Under 19 World Cup. This is going to be their second semi-final appearance. Even in 2018, they reached the semi-final and lost to Australia. So that's why
Yeah.
I always believe this tournament, like this Under 19 World Cup, are a bit unpredictable.
Yeah.
So India, have to be very careful, and especially on this pitch, because the Vivian Richards wicket, which is the main cricketing center in Antigua, that is more batting friendly. We have seen England chasing down 200 odd runs in 30 odd overs against South
Yeah.
Africa. So that is more batting friendly. That is like, but on this particular pitch, I think it is going to be Bangladesh will be in the game, and obviously India will go into this game in as slight favorites, but don't count out Bangladesh.
Yeah. Once again, for those joining us right now, Sandipan, can you please share updates on the players that you have been hearing from the morning as far as the Indian contingent is concerned?
So the information I received, the latest update which I received last evening, that is that players who are in quarantine in Trinidad, they have already boarded their flight today, and they are expected to land in Antigua in next 1.5 hours. And this
Yeah.
ground is situated right next to the airport, so they can literally come out of the airport and come to the practice session.
So you'll be, of course, waiting for them to arrive on into the city,
Yeah,
and
I'll be
they,
expected to them, like I expected. I'll be eager to see them how they perform in their nets, because they will be a bit rusty. So
yeah,
yeah.
definitely, most definitely. We were
But
there.
I
You were
haven't
there
received
on the venue.
any update regarding Nishant, who was tested positive after India's
Okay,
last
yeah,
game, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
He was the
because
silent skipper. Yeah.
so I haven't received any update regarding him so far. It will be interesting. Like I'll be covering the India's practice session. So
Yeah.
if he's one of the players who are coming from Trinidad also, then we can get to know
Well,
in the during India's practice session.
India's depth did come into play pretty early on in the tournament in the second game itself against Ireland, and well, they reached the quarterfinals without losing a game. And I remember talking with you on our WhatsApp group. I remember all the discussions that were taking place
Yeah.
ahead of that particular fixture. When we're talking about if one cricket correspondent can as well feature for Team India, which has happened in the past, hasn't it? You know, correspondents, the journalists joining in the team when they need players. But we were glad that it didn't happen. Otherwise, we would have lost a big voice in our team to playing the game
Well, I'm
itself.
not under 19 anymore. Another important update I would like to share for our audience is that the
Yeah,
BCCI has already sent 5, reserve players to avoid any any unforeseen circumstances. So the reserve players are in Antigua, have reached Antigua already. So in
wonderful.
case there is any issue or any other player being tested, player from the main squad being tested positive, there will be
Yeah.
temporary replacements available.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So there you go. All the precautions, the necessary measures have been taken ahead of this big game, and we await what it is going to bring to us or come this Saturday, which is, of course, tomorrow. Sandipan, your predictions regarding the game, because we've seen India, of course, winning big so far in this tournament. There's been that 100% record with them. They won the last game with 326 run margin. That was some margin to win a game by. But this one is going to be different. This one is going to be important for them, and they have what we call fresh rivals facing them in this particular quarterfinal. What are your predictions come the
Look,
game tomorrow?
obviously I'll consider India as the favorites, but India need to be on their toes. Especially I think this Bangladesh team, their batting struggle against England Pacers in their previous
Yeah,
in one of the league games. So and India have
yeah,
one of the best pace attacks in this competition. So India, if bowling, they can win the toss and go first on this pitch, and in this early morning with this little bit of cloud around, and it's an open ground, so wind can be a huge factor over here as well. So
yeah.
on a windy day, I think Indian Pacers can do well. A lot will depend on how Indian Pacers will bowl with the new ball,
Yeah.
because
Of course, the
These
extra pace.
Bangladesh batters are good players of spin, but when it comes
Yeah,
to Pacers, they tend to struggle a little bit.
yeah. That extra bit of pace from someone like Rajvardhan Hangarekar can
Ravi
come in
Kumar,
really
yeah.
handy in these sort of conditions.
And
Well,
even on a windy day like this, someone like Raj Baba, who is being the third seamer of this Indian team, he can
yeah,
move the ball around and all. I have seen him bowling exceptionally well in the nets.
yeah, yeah. Well, remains to be seen what's going to happen on match day, but that's as far as the predictions are concerned and as far as the expert analysis are concerned from someone on ground there. You had it from Sandipan Banerjee himself, and he'll be there tomorrow updating us with all the updates before the match, during the match, and afterwards. That's what he's been
And
doing this
another
under
update I would
19
like to
Cricket World
share.
Cup
So
for us.
if India win
Yeah.
tomorrow, they have to play their semi-final at this particular venue as well, and that will be played against either Pakistan or Australia.
Yeah, we'll know that by tonight. Of course, we'll know that by tonight.
So playing
Uh,
on this kind of a pitch is not going to be easy, and you
yeah,
cannot take things for granted over here.
yep, yep. Well, thank you so much, Sandipan Banerjee, for joining us, giving us all the updates. And well, if you want to know more from him on everything under 19 Cricket World Cup, do follow him. If you are watching us from YouTube or Facebook, the link to his Twitter profile is in the description. And you can follow us for all the updates Sandipan is bringing from this under 19 World Cup in Caribbean. Look forward to a lot more and look forward to joining you for that semi-final talk with, of course, the Men in Blue featuring. We'll be here to talk everything under 19 Cricket World Cup. Stay tuned to Cricket News for more.